Slowly recovering from the terror attacks, New York City is trying to ease huge traffic problems caused by closing some bridges and tunnels into Manhattan and police searches of many vehicles. Starting tomorrow morning, cars entering Midtown and Lower Manhattan must carry at least 2 people. Extra security is a highly visible after effect of the terror attacks. Tonight's Eye on America focuses on a harder to detect and potentially widespread public trauma, the toll on mental health. This was much on the minds of witnesses at a congressional hearing today, as CBS's medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon reports.
The water supply may be safe, the air quality okay. But as a Senate subcommittee learned today, the nation is facing a less obvious public health crisis, the likes of which it has never known.
Soon we realized that this disaster was also a mental health catastrophe of massive proportions.
A panel of mental health experts told senators the resources are not in place to help the legions of emotionally scarred, from average Americans now full of fear and anxiety to eyewitnesses, grieving families, and traumatized rescue crews. Dr. Kerry Kelly is Chief Medical Officer for the New York City Fire Department.
The emotions that I felt at that time still remain vivid: fear, uncertainty, compassion, and sadness. I have never felt unsafe at a fire scene before. I really thought I was going to die that day.
Around the country, phone banks have been set up. Free walk-in clinics are available. But the level of violence on American soil is so unprecedented, its ripple effect so far and wide, therapists aren't quite sure how to control the damage. Researchers are studying reactions to trauma in the Middle East, where terrorism is part of life. Others are turning closer to home, Oklahoma City. Clinical psychologist John Tassi was there after the bombing.
One of the advantages of the Oklahoma City bombing is it broke down further the barrier for people to seek mental health counseling, to seek mental health care in these incidents.
After the bombing, studies show of 182 survivors, 34% had post-traumatic stress disorder, 45% had some other problem. And in the surrounding community, there was an increase in the divorce rate, alcoholism, and substance abuse.
This isn't over in a year. In Oklahoma City, we are still providing psychological services, and that's 6 years later.
And this devastation is so much greater. The mental health system, doctors say, will be pushed to its limits and have trouble coping, just like the rest of the nation. In New York, I'm Elizabeth Caledon for Eye on America.